All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have been waiting for. It is time to go racing. Max Gunther and Andrew Lau on the front row. Giancarlo and Mike Dolling on the second row. Harry Volsmir, Adam Barker on the third row. Simon Zierk, Yannick Gunther on the fourth row. Mike Marshall and Rudolph Gunther round out your top 10. Paul Dolling starts in 11th. Mark Dantuma in 12th. Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel starts in 13th. Jared Heasley rounds out the 14-car field this morning. A lot of drivers having to switch back over to a race setup, quickly getting adjustments made. Lap times in practice were really, really close. There is going to be some close racing out here. Could be tricky. Andrew Lau made his debut in GT3 NSS last week and came on like a storm. 4th place in race 1, 3rd place in race 2. He's going to be one to watch the remainder of this season and well into next season. Giancarlo, once again, I do believe it's only the second time this season, and not that many times prior to now, that we have seen Giancarlo in a Porsche. Definitely been different. And I stand corrected about one thing. There are 2 Ferraris in the field. The second one driven by Adam Barker. That is different. I don't know that we have ever seen Adam in the Ferrari before. It looks like they're going to take a full pace lap here this morning, giving the drivers an opportunity to get the tires warmed up here. Quick look, track temperature 107 degrees, air temperature 73, but this is one of the cooler races this morning, or this season, despite it being 107 degrees. Last week, if I recall, we were looking at 120 degree track temperatures, and it did cause some question marks. Tire wear not as big of an issue here as it was last week at Jerez. This is really going to come down to speed and momentum. This track, huge on momentum. Got to keep the momentum and the pace up. Team Gunther all managed to qualify in the top 10. Team Dolling will be starting in 4th and 11th. Team BRR 12th, 13th, and 14th. Of note, Jared Heasley did not complete a qualifying lap. Those 3 starting at the back. Historically, this race has a rough start. Turn 1 is dicey at best. Turn 1 here at Road America is full send down the straightaway into a 90-degree right-hand turn. things have a tendency to get really out of shape very, very quickly going through turn 1. And as we mentioned, the last time GT3 NSS was here, Giancarlo spun off in turn 1, ended up a couple seconds behind the rest of the field, and still managed to lay down some of the fastest laps ever at this track, charge through the field, and get the win. Out of the final turn, everybody will stack back up and get ready for the restart. That is a long pace lap. Horse pace car is in. Max Gunther in control of the start. They fire and are away. Everybody coming up to speed. Green flag in the air. Race number 1 underway. Max getting a good head of steam headed towards turn 1. And here's where things are going to get exciting. Giancarlo makes it through this time. Everybody survives turn 1. Simon Zierk currently second in points, running in 7th place. Keep an eye on him, Mr. Consistency. Adam Barker weirdly in a Ferrari this week, as Simon already looking down to the inside. I do not believe we have seen Adam Barker. I know we have not seen Adam Barker in a Ferrari in several seasons. I don't think we have actually ever seen him in a Ferrari. Jared Heasley has picked up 1 spot up into 13th. Rudolph Gunther now up into 9th. Simon Zierk now up to 6th. And Harry Volsmeer, the lone Mercedes, now up into 4th. Harry hoping to take advantage of that Mercedes power this morning. Andrew Lau currently running in 2nd after a great rookie start last week. Definitely the rookie made his name known here. Giancarlo still looking in 3rd, but Max Gunther is already checking out. 1.7 second lead after just 1 lap. Most of the field single file up the straightaway. Mark Dantuma in a Porsche. I think this is the first time we've seen Mark in a Porsche. Mark reeling in Paul Doling and Mike Marshall. Oh! Paul Doling is going around. Can he keep it out of the... Oh, hard hit. Paul just getting loose out of the turn. And Paul Doling has gone to pit road, it looks like. Haven't seen Paul in several races. This is not the way he wanted to come back. This is only Paul's 2nd race of the season. He was at the season opener at Sebring. We have not seen him since. In trouble early. Max is going around this track so fast, he's going to forget the other cars are even back there before long. Andrew Lau now over 2 seconds behind. Giancarlo right there with him. You did hear Giancarlo say Max was in a whole nother zone this morning. Harry Volsmir in 4th, Mike Dolling in 5th, Simon Zierk in 6th, Adam Barker 7th, Yannick in 8th. Mike Rudolph now in 9th and Mike Marshall in 10th. Mark Dantuma has made his way up into 11th and is gaining on Marshall. Heasley in 12th and Nicole Kriesel in 13th. Harry Volsmir and the Mercedes just set the fastest lap so far. With the big straightaways here at Road America, the Mercedes power is going to be huge and could be a deciding factor. As Harry continues to reel in the leaders. Really impressive to see Andrew Lau in the BMW in 2nd place, holding off Giancarlo in 3rd. Meanwhile, Max has just kind of gone off to do his own thing. His lead continuing to grow now, 2.7 seconds. Looked like the Porsche may have stepped out just a little bit a moment ago, but gathers it back up with a boot full of power. The part of the track most of these drivers talked about being the most concerned for this morning was coming down through the kink. You have to carry momentum, but too much, you're going to end up sending it off track. Too little, you could lose valuable seconds in that one spot. Mike Dolling currently running in 5th place. Paul Dolling out of the race, so only one member of Team Dolling left on track. And Max Gunther just set the fastest lap of the race so far, and so far the only driver under the 2:05 mark. He ran a 2:04.95. Simon Zierk now up into 6th place. Mr. Consistency looking for a way around Dolling. Heasley has had a problem. The back end just steps out on that Lambo. Manages to keep it out of the tire barrier. Gets the car rolling again. But ended up losing a spot to Nicole Kriesel. Nicole now up to 12th. Mark Dantuma in 11th was gaining on Mike Marshall for quite a while, but now Marshall has pulled away and is reeling in Rudolf Gunther. Yannick Gunther currently in 8th. Max Gunther obviously leading the race. Adam Barker in the Ferrari for, I believe, the first time ever. Currently has dropped back into 7th place. A moment ago, Simon Zierk was looking for a pass, could not find his way around Mike Dolling. Of course, Mike Dolling known as the Minister of Defense. He is tough to pass. Harry Volsmir in 4th has closed in on Andrew Lau in 3rd. Giancarlo is going to 2nd place. Let's see how that happened. For the longest time, Giancarlo did not look like he had anything for him. It looks like Small mistake by Lau. Opened the door. Giancarlo stepped through. But now Giancarlo 3.3 seconds behind Max Gunther. Does Giancarlo have the speed to reel in the leader here this morning? We've seen Giancarlo make epic comebacks here at Road America. Can he do it again today? Max kicking up a little dirt. They are using every bit of the allowed track here this morning. Andrew Lau sits in third, Harry Volsmir in fourth, Mike Dolling in fifth, Simon Zierk in sixth, Adam Barker seventh, Yannick Gunther eighth, Rudolph Gunther ninth, and now Mike Marshall in 10th. Marshall continuing to reel in Rudolph and Yannick. Now remember, going into race 2, the top 7 will invert. So right now, that would put Adam Barker starting on the pole for the second race. Simon Zierk has suddenly lost some ground on Mike Dolling. Dolling now 1.5 seconds ahead and closing in on Harry. Max Gunther out front is starting to be reeled in. Giancarlo, after moving to second place, has closed the gap down to 3 seconds, but with under 9 minutes left to go, he is really going to have to pick it up. Last time by, he was just 0.2 faster than the leader. He's going to need a lot more than that. Jared Heasley, after that incident going off track, has lost a lot of ground. 8.25 seconds behind Nicole. Can he reel her in? Mark Dantuma, still the highest running member of Team BRR, currently in 11th. Max Gunther obviously leads Team Gunther here this morning. He's got a big lead out front. And Mike Dolling, after Paul Dolling going off track and hitting a tire wall on pit road, Mike Dolling now in 5th place, leading that team. Max Gunther, last time by, was able to pull his gap a little bit bigger as Andrew Lau gets by Giancarlo. And this is exactly what Max Gunther wants to see. These two battling it out. He gets the BMW down to the inside. Giancarlo cannot answer and defend his position. Andrew Lau back to second. And Max Gunther's lead now almost 4 seconds. Mike Marshall battling right now with Rudolph Gunther. Side by side. Down into the sharp left-hander. Marshall able to pull back ahead. Rudolph going to try and cross over. Get his nose to the inside. Couldn't get it there when they got to the top of the hill. Marshall a little squirrely, but holds on to it. Mike Marshall now back into 9th. Rudolph Gunther in 10th. Oh, Jared Heasley just came by Nicole Kriesel and then got loose. Jared is towed to pit road. Max Gunther has extended his lead now 4 seconds. And Harry Volsmir, something has happened to Giancarlo. Giancarlo sitting in 3rd place. Through the kink, it snaps loose. A lot of the Porsche drivers talking about this car being on edge through there. Max Gunther now a ton of breathing room over Andrew Lau. Harry Volsmir now to 3rd. Jared, don't give up yet, buddy. Andrew Lau now to 2nd. Harry up to 3rd, but Harry's got a battle going with Mike Dolling and Simon Zierk lurking right behind. A 3-car battle for 3rd place. Harry has the inside line, but the momentum goes to Dolling on the high side. Holy cow. Harry managing to pull it off here. Oh, Simon almost gets into the back bumper of Mike Dolling. Simon starting to look for a pass here. Starts looking on the high side through the right-hander. Down the straightaway through the kink. Kink has already bit one driver, Giancarlo, this morning. Simon really looking for a move. He shoots to the outside. Dolling able to outbrake him into the right-hander. And that has allowed Adam Barker to close back in. Oh, Adam. No, I'm sorry. That was Yannick Gunther goes way wide. Andrew Lau now in 2nd. Harry in 3rd, pulling a bit of a gap on Dolling. Simon Zierk, Adam Barker, all right there. Yannick Gunther closing in. Mike Marshall now in 8th. Rudolph Gunther in 9th. Mark Dantuma up to 10th. Road America definitely never disappoints. Harry Volsmir trying to use the Mercedes power to pull a gap, but every turn, Dolling, Zierk, Barker, and Gunther close that gap back down. Max's lead now 5.3 seconds over Andrew Lau. JR, that sounds like a lot of fun, buddy. The highest running Ferrari right now, Adam Barker in 6th place. Yannick really going wide through that turn several times. And it looked like Barney was waving the checker flag. Let's take a look from in Mark Dantuma's car. Should be the white flag. Yep, white flag is in the air. The final lap. Max Gunther just walking away with this race. That was rather funny, and obviously made me extremely jealous, buddy. Max Gunther way out front. Andrew Lau in second has a 4.7 second lead over third place Harry Volsmere. Harry seems to be able to hold everybody off from behind. Down through the kink, a couple more turns for Max Gunther. I'm halfway across the country. Eastern Oklahoma. Simon Zierk still lurking, but Mike Dalling has now gotten to the bumper on Harry Volsmere as Max Gunther heads up the straightaway. He's even going to give us a little show on the way to the finish line. Max Gunther wins. Andrew Lau up the hill is going to come home in second, and it looks like Harry will pull off third. Mike Dalling comes home fourth, Simon Zierk in fifth. Let's talk to the top three. Hey, Harry, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, man, another great run. Your season is really on fire this year.
Yeah, it's going quite all right at the moment. A bit lucky at the start, but yeah.
I have to say, man, it looked like that, obviously the only Mercedes in the field, but it looked like being in the Mercedes and having that extra power really paid off this morning.
Yeah, it did. It did. I didn't have much pressure from Mike in the back, except from some mistakes from myself. But, well, it was a nice race.
It definitely was, man, and a great points morning for you as well. Another great run, man. Congratulations, Harry.
Thank you.
Harry comes home in third, and newcomer Andrew Lau comes home in second. Andrew, that was another great run. You, since joining the league, you have really put on a show.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great racing here.
It did look like you and Giancarlo having one heck of a battle back there, but man, I don't know how you managed to hold him off for as long as you did, but that was really impressive driving.
Yeah, it was a shame. Porsche just doing Porsche things to the kink. It would have been really good fun all the way to the end.
It was definitely Porsche doing Porsche things. We saw that quite a bit this morning. The BMWs seemed to handle the corners really well this morning, even at speed.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a little more stable than the rear-engine Porsche around here, especially through the kink. Yeah.
Well, it was another great job. Only your second race here, your second week here, and man, everybody knows you're here now.
Cheers.
Congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
And Max Gunther with the win. Max, that was a very, very dominant win this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
It looks like you're going to close the gap on Simon in points, but now you have to start from 7th place and come back through, and that's going to be a bit tricky, but it seems like you have all the speed this morning.
Yeah, but it's still different than just driving in the front, then driving around other cars. So that's gonna be really hard, I think, because the guys from I think 3rd place up until the 7th position were all nose to tail the whole time.
They definitely were, but you checked out. You had over a 5-second lead at the start-finish line. If you get through traffic quickly with the longer race, can you check out even further?
I don't know actually. I'm hoping for a good pit stop to make up a couple of places maybe, but that's pretty at the end of the stint here. So we'll see. We'll see.
We saw quite a few Porsches struggling, especially through the kink this morning. Did you have any problems with the car trying to step out?
Well, I had once or twice. The back got a little bit loose, but as long as you keep the throttle quite level, it sorts itself out. Yeah.
We did notice one time it tried to step out on you, and it did look like you just gave it a little bit more power and we're going.
Yeah, it's tricky. In corner entry, if you take off too much throttle, the car steps out, and in corner exit, if you give it too much throttle, it also steps out. So it's a really tricky corner in the Porsche.
Well, you've done an awesome job all morning long, man. Congratulations, and looking forward to seeing what you do here in race 2, buddy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you, Doug.
Max Gunther, another win. Looking to go into race 2. He will start from 7th place. Andrew Lau sitting on pit road. Doesn't look like anybody else is coming out for warm-up. Giancarlo may be rolling out for a little bit of testing here. Couple of drivers hitting pit road, but nobody making a move to come off pit road yet. With just a minute left in warm-up, just enough time to run to the snack bar, get something to eat, get something to drink. Don't forget to hit that share button and like button. Invite your friends and family to come watch this one. Don't forget to tune in tonight. Cup Racing is back. BRR Cup Racing up first at 7:30 Eastern, followed by 3Y Gen 4 Racing. It's going to be an awesome, exciting night of racing. New Cup cars, old Cup cars, all sorts of excitement here tonight. All right, we are on to race number 2 with Yannick Gunther and Adam Barker on the front row this time. Simon Zierk, Mike Dolling on the second, Harry Volsmir, Andrew Lau have the third row. Max Gunther, after winning race 1, starts in 7th. Mike Marshall starting in 8th. Rudolph Gunther, Mark Dantuma round out your top 10. Nicole Kriesel in 11th. Giancarlo starting in 12th. Jared Heasley 13th. And Paul Dalling starting in 14th. Not sure if Jared will be taking the grid this time. It sounded like he was out after that wreck. All the drivers start rolling for their pace lap. Jared Heasley, the only driver not taken to the grid for race 2. It has been several seasons since we have seen a Ferrari in victory lane. Could Adam Barker change that here this morning? All 3 members of Team Gunther again starting in the top 10. Yannick starts 2nd, Max starts 7th, and Rudolph Gunther starts in 10th. Meanwhile, Paul Dalling starting in 12th, Mike Dalling starting in 4th. Team BRR has Mark Dantuma, or Nicole Kriesel starting in 13th, Mark Dantuma starting in 10th. One of the longest pace laps there is out there as they go around. Does give them the opportunity to warm the tires up. Track temperature has come down a couple of degrees. Race 1 it was 107, now down to 105. Some of the coolest track temperatures we have seen all season long. Good morning, Kevin. All good, buddy. Hope you're having a great morning. Through the final couple of turns, getting ready for race 2 to pop off here. Pace car pulls in. Yannick in control. Here they come down the straightaway. They begin to fire as green flag is in the air. Yannick trying to send it in. Simon Zierk already on the move. Simon looking for second. He's going to take it from Adam. Harry back in fourth, Doling in fifth. Andrew Lau trying to make his way forward. Max Gunther won race number 1, trying to make his way forward in race 2. He did say it is much harder to get this Porsche through traffic than it was to pull away and dominate the way he did in race number 1. This could be interesting. Adam Barker in the Ferrari has faded back into 4th place. Simon now in 2nd, Mike Dolling in 3rd. Giancarlo starting to make up some ground already. Giancarlo in 9th. Harry Volsmir has had a problem. Harry was making his way up through the field. Oh, he got into the turn, just overshot, and a hard hit into the wall. Harry did end up having to tow to pit road, and we've got several cars, including Max Gunther, off track. Max looking to the inside on Mike Marshall. Marshall goes around as they check up. Max gets tapped and sent around. After dominating race 1, Max Gunther now back to 10th. Did look like he had some damage, some damage to the splitter. Trying to get a look at the back. I do believe the back bumper, yes, significant rear damage too. Meanwhile, Yannick Gunther in the lead. Simon Zierk in 2nd. Mike Dolling now in 3rd. Adam Barker in 4th. Andrew Lau up into 5th. Rudolph Gunther now to 6th. And Giancarlo on his way back toward the front in 7th. Paul Dolling in 8th. Mark Van Tumen out to 9th. Max Gunther in 10th. Mike Marshall now in 11th. Nicole Kriesel in 12th. And the first lap of this one significantly different than the first lap of race number 1. Multiple cars having trouble early here. Adam Barker in the Ferrari in 4th place. So odd to see Adam in a Ferrari this week, just because it has been so long. Yannick, meanwhile, continuing to lead as a 1.8 second gap on Simon Zierk. Giancarlo has made his way up to 7th, now looking for 6th place from Rudolph, and it looks like he's going to take it. And then a big blink, but he pulls it off. Andrew Lau finished 2nd in race number 1, has fought his way into 5th. Harry Volsmir is back out on track after the early incident. Hopefully he can make up some spots. He had has had a good season really making some noise out here this season. Finished third in race number 1, but obviously problems early have set him back to 13th. Giancarlo trying to run down Andrew Lau now. Yannick Gunther's lead is starting to shrink because Mr. Consistency Simon Zierk is reeling him in. Simon now just over 1.5 seconds behind. Yeah, Kevin, if the house gets into the 70s, my air conditioner is getting kicked on. But man, it's going to be a hot race in Kansas today. Simon continuing to reel in the leader. Mike Dolling and Adam Barker not gaining a little bit of ground, but not very much. Andrew Lau, however, is reeling him in. And Giancarlo is closing in on Lau as well. Rudolph Gunther still lurking in 7th. Paul Dolling up 6 spots now into 8th. With Mark Dantuma in 9th and now Max Gunther in 10th. Oh, Mark almost loses it coming off the corner. Opens the door. Max shoots to the inside. Max Gunther now back up into 9th. Sets his sights on Paul Dolling. Yeah, Kevin, keep those temperatures up there, buddy. Yannick still in the lead, but Simon now 1.25 seconds back. Mike Dolling and Adam Barker starting to reel him in now, just 2.5 seconds back. And Andrew Lau is gaining on the entire top 4 cars. Mike Marshall has had a problem back behind. Down through the kink and overshoots just a little bit. Great save. That is how Giancarlo lost race 1. Great recovery by Marshall. Max Gunther, Paul Dolling battling it out. Max is going to take 8th. Paul Dolling now in 9th. Mark Dantuma right behind in 10th. Adam Barker seems to be content for the moment, sitting in the draft of Mike Dolling, trying to make up that ground. And Rudolph Gunther has crashed. Comes to the top of the hill, overshoots hard onto the brakes, and it sends him all the way around with multiple cars right behind him. Manages to recover the car, but lost a ton of track position. Rudolph Gunther now back to 11th place as Mike Marshall has taken 10th. Mark Dantuma in 9th, Paul Dalling in 8th. Max Gunther has made his way up into 7th place and continues to reel in the leaders. He said he was going to make up some ground on pit road this morning as well. You are correct, Kevin. And again, you can keep them temperatures up there. Max Gunther, after his early incident, fell back to 11th, has made his way up to 7th place, continues his march toward the front. Meanwhile, Simon Zierk has caught the leader, Yannick Gunther. Mr. Consistency just has to push a little harder, and he is going to take the lead here. It would be Simon Zierk's first win of the season. The Porsche definitely seems to be the fastest car here this morning. However, as we heard from several drivers, unstable. Porsche enjoys doing Porsche things. Max Gunther in 7th place, still 10.5 seconds behind Giancarlo. Giancarlo now up 6 spots into 6th place as he continues fighting his way forward, has almost caught Andrew Lau in 5th. Adam Barker still holds on to 4th. Mike Dalling in 3rd. Simon Zierk suddenly losing just a little bit of ground to the Porsche of Yannick Gunther. Mark Dantuma currently sits in 9th, Paul Dalling in 8th. Mark was staying right with him, losing a little bit of ground here, but Mark already up a couple spots. Mike Marshall in 10th, Rudolph Gunther in 11th, both drivers trying to fight their way forward. Harry Volsmir, after the early incident, back in 13th. Starting to reel in Nicole Kriesel in 12th. Giancarlo and Andrew Lau had one heck of a battle in race 1. About to see a repeat of that. And that is definitely something Max Gunther wants to see. He wants the opportunity to reel him back in. Up front, Yannick still able to hold off Simon Zierk so far. Mike Dolling sits in third, Adam Barker in fourth, and Andrew Lau in fifth. Lau now has Giancarlo all over the bumper, was looking for a move on Barker. This could get very exciting and very sketchy between these three very, very quickly. Giancarlo looks to the inside. Lau moves to block. And Lau now looks to the inside on Barker. Through the kink, everybody still nose to tail. Lau still looking for a move. Giancarlo lost a little momentum. Barker still managing to hold him off while Mike Dolling is continuing to check out in third. Barker leaves an opening. Lau almost gets it. Up the straightaway, Giancarlo goes to pit road. Giancarlo going to try and make the early pit stop and use that strategy to put himself ahead of these two. Andrew Lau looking to the inside as they go toward turn one. Did not have the momentum. While they battled, Mike Dolling has managed to open up a 2-second gap on Adam Barker. Dolling with some breathing room here. Meanwhile, out front, Yannick Gunther still has Simon Zierk lurking on his bumper. Max Gunther currently in 6th, still trying to reel in Andrew Lau. That little battle between the three of them did not give him more than a quarter second. Now that we're approaching the halfway point, pit strategy is going to become huge. Obviously, Giancarlo has already completed his. He comes out in 11th place. And is the first driver to complete his fuel stop. Rudolph Gunther in 10th. Mike Marshall now in 9th. Dan Tuma in 8th. Paul Dolling up 7 spots into 7th place. Max Gunther now in 6th. Andrew Lau up to 5th. Barker in 4th. Mike Dolling in 3rd. Simon Zierk in 2nd. And Yannick Gunther, who has led since the drop of the green flag, still in the lead. Max Gunther is on pit road. Max and Simon still nose to tail. Or Yannick and Simon, rather. Seems like every week there is a Gunther out front. Mike Dolling in 3rd is starting to reel in the top 2 just a little bit. Now 2.9 seconds behind. Adam Barker has lost touch with the top three, but Andrew Lau rattled his bumper. Oh, Barker goes wide through the grass. Keeps his foot in it. Keeps his foot on it, more importantly, managing to hold off Andrew Lau while going through the grass. What a save. Nicole Creasel has had a problem. Just gets a little bit loose mid-turn. Gets it off the track before getting in the middle of the race for the lead. Adam Barker heads to pit road. Rudolph Gunther has had a problem. Just gets on the brakes a little too hard coming through that final turn. Rudolph went to pit road right after that. Hey, good morning, Russell. How are you doing, buddy? Harry Volsmere, who had a problem on lap 1, is now up into 12th place, trying to make up ground in the lone Mercedes. We saw the difference that Mercedes power made in race number 1. Can he use it to charge back up in race 2? Simon Zierk still on Yannick Gunther's back bumper. Mike Dolling in 3rd, Andrew Lau in 4th. Paul Dolling now up into 5th place. Paul, the biggest mover of the morning. Mark Dantuma in 6th, Mike Marshall 7th, Giancarlo, the first to complete his pit stop, now in 8th as Simon Zierk comes to pit road. He gives up 2nd, Yannick alone. Last time by, Mike Dolling was the fastest of the top 3. Faster than the leaders by 0.4 of a second, now in 2nd place. Trying to reel him in. Paul Dolling has also headed to pit road. Yannick Gunther in the lead, Mike Dolling 2nd, Andrew Lau 3rd. Pit stops underway. Paul Dolling is on pit road. Mike Dolling now 4.1 seconds behind the leader, Yannick Gunther. Yannick through the kink. Will he be coming in this time? Harry Volsmere has had a problem, as has Adam Barker. Oh, Harry just way wide out of that final turn, but gathers it up. As the top 3 just hit pit road Adam gets loose through that turn and a hard lick into the inside wall. Yannick Gunther, Mike Dolling, Andrew Lau, all on pit road. Mike Marshall, Mark Dantuma, the only two drivers who have not been to pit road yet. Dantuma is in. Mike Marshall stays out. Giancarlo gets by the drivers coming off pit road, now up into fourth. And after pit stop, Simon Zierk now in second place. And as a 1.7 second gap on Yannick Gunther, Mike Marshall still has to come to pit road. But it looks like Simon Zierk may have came out on top on this one. Mark Dantuma has had a problem right after coming off pit road. Into turn one a little too deep onto the brakes, but loses it into the inside wall. Mark has towed to pit road. Mark was having a great run this morning in the top 10 all race long. Mike Marshall headed toward the final couple turns. Likely we'll see him on pit road. This time Yannick Gunther has gone off track. Yannick trying to run down Simon Zierk. Wide through the kink, hard into the wall. Almost gets Giancarlo. Talk about some close calls there. Mike Marshall is on pit road. Simon Zierk goes to the lead. And Giancarlo has now moved into second place, 3.1 seconds back. Andrew Lau now to third. Mike Dolling now in fourth. Max Gunther has gotten up into fifth place. Did manage to make up some ground on pit road as he had planned. But Mr. Consistency out front with a 3-second lead at the moment. We have seen Giancarlo close a bigger deficit than that in the past. Simon Zierk has multiple second place finishes this season, but is yet to be in victory lane. Multiple podium finishes. Currently sits second in points behind Giancarlo. Giancarlo with an 85-point lead. And Giancarlo is running him down very, very quickly. Adam Barker has suddenly lost a lot of ground in the Ferrari. Looks like he had went off track a moment ago. Likely through the kink, if I had to guess. Nope, he goes way wide out of the turn, but keeps his foot in it. Adam Barker surprisingly all the way back in 11th place. Simon's lead has shrunk to 2 1/4 seconds. Giancarlo is charging. Andrew Lau sits in 3rd, Mike Dolling in 4th, and Max Gunther in 5th. Giancarlo up 10 spots from 12th to 2nd place here this morning. Only the 2nd time this season we have seen Giancarlo in the Porsche, and overall we've only seen him a handful of times in that car. Harry Volsmere finally in for his fuel stop. He'll give up 10th. Meanwhile, the lead has shrunk down to 1.2 seconds. Can Simon hold off a hard-charging Giancarlo? Simon in the BMW, Giancarlo in the Porsche. Andrew Lau also gaining on both drivers, currently sits in 3rd, 1.7 seconds back from Giancarlo. Mike Dolling just over a second behind him. Max Gunther in 5th, about 10 seconds behind all the leaders, but has a 23-second gap himself over Mike Marshall in 6th. Yannick Gunther back in 7th, Paul Dolling in 8th. Rudolph Gunther in 9th, and Harry Volsmere off pit road in 10th. Simon managing to maintain the 1 1/4 second lead for the moment over Giancarlo. Andrew Lau in 3rd, Mike Dolling in 4th, Max Gunther in 5th. The top 4 all still within striking distance of each other. Andrew Lau continuing to close the gap on Giancarlo, as well as Giancarlo trying to reel in Simon's ear. Simon Zierk coming back across the start-finish line, now has a big purple Porsche right in his mirror. Giancarlo now down to 3/4 of a second. Andrew Lau just 1 1/4 seconds behind. This is going to come down to a 3-car battle for the lead in the next lap. Max Gunther just set the fastest lap of the race so far. Despite the cooler track temperature, though, no driver has gotten back into the 204s. Max Gunther last time by a 205.16. Now the question becomes, can Simon hold off Giancarlo? Andrew Lau closing in. How much of a factor will he be? Giancarlo sitting right on Simon's back bumper. Simon definitely overdue for a win here, but Giancarlo goes. Giancarlo looks to the outside, coming up the hill, can't get there. Back up the straightaway, Simon still in the lead. Two laps to go here. Andrew Lau closing in quickly as well. Now 1.1 second behind Giancarlo. Mike Dalling also starting to gain some ground back behind, 2 seconds behind Lau. Max Gunther in 5th, 9 seconds behind, likely to not be a factor. Giancarlo tries to make a move. Simon doing everything he can. Lap car about to come into play. Nicole holding the inside line, lets the leaders by. Giancarlo lost it through the kink late in race number 1. Can he hold on to it through the remainder of this one? And Andrew Lau is in the mix now. Bit of a blink out of Giancarlo as they come around and get ready to take the white flag. White flag, one more lap to go. Giancarlo makes the move. No, he can't get there, but Lau looks inside. Beginning to think these three are toying with each other. Had the momentum in the draft, but as soon as they pulled out, it appeared like they all just hit a wall. Couldn't carry the speed. Both Giancarlo and Andrew Lau looking for a move here. And this could get dangerous. Giancarlo looked to the outside. Lau's going to move to the inside. Simon still has the lead. Now Giancarlo looks to the outside. A 3-car battle for the lead on the last lap at Road America. Wow. Lau backing off just a little bit. Simon Zerk long overdue for a win. Giancarlo keeps peeking. Can't find a way around yet. Zerk still able to hold the lead. Giancarlo looked like he was going to try and outbrake him. Couldn't get there. Now Giancarlo looking outside. Zierk manages to keep it ahead. Headed toward the final turn. Lau looking inside on Giancarlo. Mike Dolling is coming. Out of the final turn, Simon has the run up the hill. And Simon Zierk is going to pull off the win. Giancarlo coming home in second. Andrew Lau on the podium again in third. What a final lap. And Mike Dolling closes right in on him to finish fourth. One more lap. Mike Dolling would have been in that fight. And let's see if we can talk to Lau. Hey, Andrew, it's Doug. You got me?
Yes, sir.
2 podium finishes, but that last one, man, that last 2 laps got exciting.
Oh, yeah, this was really fun. It was so close to the end. The top 4 was like within half a second or something like that. It was insane.
It really was, and you guys you and Giancarlo going back and forth, trying to find a way around Simon. It looked like every once in a while he'd move right, you'd move wrong, and then the next lap it'd be a swap, and it was just hard to see who was going to come out on top there.
It was hard to even see the corners. We were so close to each other.
I can imagine, man. That was an awesome finish, and obviously you came in here and it started to show them they're going to be a little bit worried going into next season.
I know, it's all downhill from here.
Well, man, a great job nonetheless. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Giancarlo comes home in second. Giancarlo, that was a wild finish for you 3 drivers.
Oh my God, what a race there at the end. There was that last lap, the last, I don't know, 2-3 laps were just absolute fantastic racing. Like, I was on the edge of my seat.
Well, you managed to come home with the podium finish. Although Simon finishes in front of you, he's not going to close the points gap that much, but man, that was one heck of a fight between you and Lau, both of you trying to jockey for a position to get around Simon.
Yeah, it was especially a big challenge because you can't really see corners when you're tucked up behind the nose of a BMW. So it was really just relying on instinct and muscle memory to get around the track. But that was just incredible racing between me, Simon, and Andrew. Looking really forward to what's to come for the next races.
Well, man, congratulations! Another great run, and one step closer to another championship.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
And finally, our long overdue winner, Simon. That was a long overdue victory, man. You put it on him today.
Oh, absolutely. That was an incredible race. Thank you, Doug.
I don't know.
So,
I saw those 2 guys moving around behind you, and I don't know how you were able to defend them as long as you were.
Oh, it was really hard to defend. I couldn't drive a really good line in the last few laps. After the pit stop, I thought, yeah, I did a great pit stop. I overtook Yannick, and then Giancarlo appeared for the last 10 minutes, and I was struggling with some corners, and he comes closer every lap. But then, yeah, I had to defend really hard so I can keep my first position here.
Well, man, it is long overdue. You've had a bunch of second place finishes, a bunch of podium finishes. I don't remember the last time you won, but this, man, you've been so close all season. It's about time. Congratulations. You earned it today.
Thank you, Doug.
Simon Zierk gets his first win of the season. Something tells me it's not going to be his last. Don't forget to tune in tonight, 7:30 Eastern. Doubleheader BRR Cup Series followed by a 3-wide Gen 4 Cup Series. A great night of racing ahead. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. We'll see you guys later. Have a great day, everybody.